Wagwan peeps, it's Venom, what you saying? Alongside my home slice, Dami to the Zane. When she and I get together on the poddy, ask anybody, the vibes are insane.
Join our family and feel free to come by. We on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Yeah.
New drop on the way every Monday at 6.
Tune in and come see what we unpick. Wagwan people, it's your boy Venom in the building alongside my home slice, Dami to the Zane.
Hey, hello, hi.
Oh yeah, welcome to the Unpicked podcast. We're in the building. We're back on this wonderful, well, hopefully it's still sunny. Anyway, today we got a few things to get into. At the end of the last episode, we mentioned something about friends with benefits. Had to cut that conversation short real quick because we want to really talk about that. We're also going to talk about what's happened to Andrew Tate and the conflict between Aries Spears and Lizzo. But before we even get into that, my home slice got some questions for your boy. So Dami to the Zane, what are you saying?
What am I saying? So you came for me last time. You said that the reason why you keep doing non-scenario based questions is because I keep doing music, this or that.
Yeah.
So I'm coming to you this week with a non-musical this or that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. Love or 10 Billy?
Love or 10 Billy?
Yeah.
What's the context of the love? Like
Romantic
relationship love, romantic love.
Romantic love
or 10 Billy. So yeah, if I was a single man before I met my wife, I would 100% take the 10 Billy. Because I was done with women. I was done with all of you lot. I tried and hadn't worked out. So yeah, 10 Billy.
So obviously now it's love.
Well, of course.
Yeah, okay.
Speaking about that, I had a dream last night, yeah, where I don't know why, I can't remember the context, but she left me in the dream. I woke up vexed. So I had to throw that in there, yeah.
Can we hold on a minute, yeah? Because we haven't addressed the elephant in the room.
What elephant? What elephant?
Guys. Have you look at my co-host's bonnet? Can you please ask him what he's protecting under the bonnet, please?
Listen, yeah. It's about style sometimes, not everyday protection. Do you see it? This is stylish. Or are bald people not allowed to wear bonnets now? This is what we're trying to do.
The next question on my this or that, yeah.
You're gonna start World War in here, boy. We can start it.
I ain't trying to go there, so. Oh Lord! Wow. Okay, so taking wifey out of it, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wifey's not involved. Yeah. As many kids as you want without the love of your life, or the love of your life with no kids.
Yeah, so taking wifey out of the equation again, the place that I was in, it would have just been kids. I was just like, yeah, I'm done with women. So, but the thing is, I don't want bare kids.
But it's as many as you want. That's what I said.
Yeah.
So
okay.
If it's just one or two,
it's still that's it. Yeah. It's the kids, man.
All right. Straight up. If you were a woman for a day, which of these would you do? And I'm not talking transgender woman. I'm talking you wake up tomorrow, you got titties, you got
Oh, I'll wake up tomorrow and I'm a real woman.
You got a real pom-pom, ovaries, womb, everything. Real titties, like.
I just dropped you in one kind of trap, you know. You didn't even.
Yeah. You tried it, but I'm smarter than that. So you're like, you've got the organs of a woman, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So if you were a woman in that
Yeah.
sense for a day,
Mm-hmm.
what's the first thing you would do?
Mm-hmm.
Self-loving, do you know what I mean? A bit of,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
right? Or a one-night stand.
So I immediately wanted to do this question. I had it in the back of my mind, but for an episode. But we're here. Self-loving, because it was the first thing. Immediately, if I wake up and
Immediately.
there's titties on my chest and I'm like, oh snap, I'm a woman, my
Yeah.
hand is going there immediately. I need to know
Immediate.
what them sensations feel like. I need to know immediately. One night stand, that's not gonna happen because if I'm a woman, I'm still gonna have my brain. That's why it's me.
Not
And
necessarily.
you said it's me though. You said if I wake up tomorrow and I'm a woman. If I wake up tomorrow and a woman, I'm a heterosexual male. So that's a heterosexual male's brain in a woman's body. I'm not about to be penetrated. That ain't happening. So
Wouldn't you want to know what it felt like?
no, what, to get my back broken in? Do I want to know what
Yeah.
I would? Nah,
To
that's
get
never
your
crossed my mind ever. Never. So yeah,
But you
that
want to
ain't
know how it
happening.
feels like. Okay. So the self-loving, would you just use use fingers, or would you get a tool? Like, would you use
Yeah,
a
and I'll do
dildo?
all
Would
of
you?
that. I'll hit up like any of my friends who are bi or gay women, and I'll be like, "Yo, let's do the
So
69. Let's
technically, you're trying
scissor,
to have your cake.
sister."
You're trying to have your cake and eat it, because when I said a one night stand, I didn't say that it had to be with a man.
Oh, I'm just
I
making
just
it clear
said
that it's not. Yeah, it can't. It
okay.
can't. That
So
is.
you're trying to do. You're not trying to do this or that. You're trying to do. I'm gonna have my cake and eat. I'm gonna have it all,
Oh,
because you're
for real,
saying
for
I'll
real.
just find a bi person to have sex with. Let's scissor.
Yeah, or a lesbian.
You can't have both. So
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
can't have
take
both.
self love as your answer
Oh yeah, yeah, of
instead of
course.
a one night stand. Okay,
First thing I'm
cool.
gonna do
All
is
right,
gonna be self love, 100%.
all right, cool. There you go. There we have it.
So, if you've been on social media and you're a black person and you're a fan of black music, it will be no surprise to you that this week, in fact, probably twice this month, Lizzo has come under fire. Once from, do you remember that interview I sent you with a white woman called her Precious? I didn't
Yeah,
even realize there was a difference. And then,
disrespectful.
and another black woman came to save this white woman. Anyway, that was a whole. I wanted to talk about that, but anyway, but Aries Spears, comedian, one of my old time faves, actually, decided to just drag Lizzo in this interview, unprovoked.
Yo, you know somebody that actually make good music, man? Lizzo.
Lizzo?
Yeah, bro. Have you heard her, yo? Like as a songwriter, yo.
I can't get past the fact that she looks like the emoji.
Yo.
Very beautiful girl. She's got a very pretty face, but she keeps showing her body off. Like, come on, man. Come on, yo. I'm sorry. Listen, I ain't the most in shape in the world, but I still, when you funny and you got swagger and confidence and you decent looking, I think I'm at least handsome, you get pussy. But a woman that's built like a plate of mashed potatoes is in trouble.
I'm sorry. But musically, yo, she go hard, man. She a good songwriter, though.
Oh, yo, she's dope. Her music hard, her body ain't.
Oh, man.
Uh-oh, here they come. The wall of Braveheart, like the battle on the field coming over the hills. Are you ready for war? You can hear the horses thumping on the ground. It's about to, here he come. Who that think he is? Be body shaming, fat mother. You know what kills me about women? Is the hypocrisy and the contradiction. Yes, queen, slay queen. Yes, queen, slay. Yeah, girl, your confidence. Diabetes, heart problems, heart disease, cholesterol. Y'all claim womanhood and about sisterhood and support for your sister, when it come to that ridiculous shit. But if you really gave a why wouldn't you go, black girl, we love you. We love your confidence, boo-boo. But this ain't it. This ain't it. That's the real love. Y'all will jump on me for making jokes, but y'all won't be real and go, Sister, put the eclair down. This ain't it. It's treadmill time.
Speaking of that, right? Because she does have issues with her weight, right? And it's actually a video online of her crying about being fat shamed. Did you see that video of her crying?
We all do. I do.
But yeah, man, she says she be having an issue, man, with people fat shaming her about her weight and cracking jokes about how big she is.
Well, how you gonna have issues, but at the same time show your whole ass at an NBA game? As comedians, we take what the defense gives us. You don't want to be put out there? Then don't put it out there.
Dami to the Zane. How have you received this this commentary by Aries Spears?
So I can see both sides. As a woman myself, I don't know if I've mentioned it in an episode or just to you outside of it, but I've thought about doing stuff like lipo, BBL and stuff like that, because social media shows you what a woman is supposed to look like, and if you don't 100% fit into that, then there's a bit of like body dysmorphia, a bit of like feeling like you're not attractive. You know, I might have the boobs and the thighs and the bum, but I don't necessarily have that Kim Kardashian shape that seems to be the thing right now. So I understand as a woman myself why it's important for there to be body positivity amongst women. However, I also acknowledge that there isn't enough when it comes to men. And I get the sense that that's what he's trying to say. In terms of him saying that we're celebrating Lizzo, and we're not really telling her that she needs to lose weight, we don't need to tell her that she needs to lose weight. It doesn't need to be said. Like, me amongst my friends, okay, not all my friends. Some of my friends will lie because they think that it will make me feel better. But I do have some friends that tell me, Dami, like, you're putting the pounds on, you know, sis. Like, take care. Do you know what I mean? Like, take care of yourself. Or maybe you don't want to order that takeaway, hun. Maybe you want to get a salad. I have friends that do that. Not all of them, but I do have those friends. And I consider those friends to be my real friends because they tell me the truth. They don't just lie and fabricate just to make me feel good. So I do think that it exists amongst friendships, but Lizzo is a celebrity. It doesn't make sense for all women across the globe to be bashing her when really the focus should be about her music and her talent. And I'm pretty sure she knows that she's overweight.
Oh yeah, Lizzo knows she's overweight.
So there's no need for us.
Yeah, but I think Aries' comments, it's one of those situations where I'm focusing on the message, not the messenger. I don't think it was best delivered. I think that maybe it coming from a comedian is one thing. It coming from a black man is another thing. It coming from a black man who's also not in shape is another thing. But ultimately, there's a massive overweight issue, especially in the United States of America. And the point that he made around women, I guess, celebrating her physically, like beyond, I guess, a certain point is what it feels like more to me, rather than, it just feels like it's without measure. I don't care about like what Lizzo looks like or her music for that matter. But if someone was asking me about her music, I'll be honest. Like, I'll be like, yeah, you know, I like this. I don't really like that. It's a bit too this for me, whatever. So that's by the by. But I do think that we are in an era of people just celebrating each other just because, as if it has no consequence. And I very much do see that, yeah, there is a consequence to being overweight, just like there's a consequence to being a chain smoker.
100%.
If someone was a chain smoker and that was their identity, and that was, I wouldn't be like, yes, bro, keep smoking, like knowing full well that actually that's going to lead to cancer. Like, it just makes sense. So I understand what he's saying, and I understand why he's doubled down once he's received a negative reaction, because yes, the messenger ain't good, but the message doesn't change.
Again, the reason why I feel that it's a good thing that Lizzo is celebrated is because not every woman looks like I said, Kim Kardashian. Not every woman has that aesthetic. And it's nice to see an artist of that scale, not necessarily her size. I'm talking about how popular she is, being that size and not giving a damn, wearing whatever she likes. There's going to be big women out there who, like I said, are aware of their situation. They are aware that they are obese. They are aware that their cholesterol is potentially high. They are aware that diabetes is a thing. You think they don't know that? You think their doctors are not telling them?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm sure it's the same thing with Lizzo, but it's nice to have that representation. I'm not obese, but I still appreciate that representation. And I think it's good that they're celebrating her. The one thing I do agree with that Aries did say was that women do need to take accountability and we do need to tell each other the truth. I just don't think that it's fair to compare Lizzo, who's in the limelight. People do bully Lizzo. Like, people do talk about her, comment about her weight all the time. It's not like every single person that comments on Lizzo in her comments or whatever are saying great things about her weight. People are talking about her weight. So it's great that there's people out there that are saying, yeah, sis, and they're celebrating her. She needs the balance. She's in the limelight. Her mental health, like, she knows her size. She knows that she's big. So she doesn't need everyone to tell her that she's big. Do you see what I'm saying? But in terms of like ordinary people, day to day, not in the spotlight, you know, your 9-to-5ers, your people that are not social media influencers or celebrities or whatever, yes, we need to be telling each other, man or woman, that, babes, put the croissant down. You've ordered enough McDonald's.
But then how do you get there?
Let me be your accountability partner. Let's set up a challenge on our Apple Watch so that we can be going to this. Do you know what I mean? Like, there needs to be that. And I agree with that message. I just don't think that it needed to be said about Lizzo in that way.
No, I agree. I don't think Lizzo needed to be the target. I just understand that when we celebrate Lizzo in terms of physically, I don't see how you then separate to treat the people who you really know any different. And
I agree with that.
It kind of reinforces being overweight rather than reinforces a culture of, yeah, we need to handle this. Because I have friends who are struggling with, you know, losing weight, etc. And I mean, it's different because my friends are male, but if they were female, if they were seeing like a celebrity like Lizzo be celebrated, they're gonna see Lizzo more than they're gonna see the doctor to put that into context of the doctor saying, oh yeah, you need to lose this. If I'm seeing someone get celebrated for, I don't know, having something that is correctable, like for example, I used to have a hernia, and on TikTok there was a video, my wife sent it to me, of this black girl with a massive hernia, and she just did a little TikTok dance but wearing a belly top so that it was out. And I was like, yo. And it made me feel bad. Not that, obviously I knew what people would be saying in the comments. I had a hernia myself, but I had an operation. But I was like, damn, if I had seen this video maybe 10 years ago, I might not have had an operation, because she had the confidence that I never had. I used to think, oh man, this, oh man, that. And eventually in my own head, I decided, yeah, you know what, let's just deal with it. But seeing her, I was like, you know, if she can do it, I can do it. Yeah, and I feel like that's how the human mind works about anything.
But not necessarily, because...
It is.
Not necessarily, because unless you are confident within yourself about it, then yeah. So I'll use myself as an example, okay? My weight yo-yos so much. Like, I can start the year on a size 10, and then by the end of the year, I'm a size 14. I vary. Like, I'm on up and downer. And it bugs me. And me seeing women who are mid-size, which is what I'm currently at now, I'm currently mid-size, doesn't make me feel like, Dami, you don't want to be mid-size. You want to stay mid-size. So maybe it's down to personal character, but me seeing bigger women on social media and stuff like that doesn't make me feel like, you know what, it's fine for me to be this size. No, I personally want to be a smaller person, and I want to be able to keep to that size consistently. I think it depends on the person. With Lizzo, I think she should be celebrated, because there are loads and loads of overweight people, women, who probably who did look at other celebrities or artists on TV, listen to other like rap, R&B, pop, whatever, all of them are slim. All of them have, like, nowadays all have the BBL shape. They all have the, like Cardi B, all of them have big bum, small waist, boobs. That's how they look. You hardly see, and the reason why I mentioned Missy Elliott is because she's actually the only other woman, black woman at that, who is big, who made it big. Do you know what I mean? And
Jennifer
so
Hudson
a lot
did
of
as well.
obese women didn't have representation, and now they do. And so if we're going to celebrate Lizzo for being the overweight, being representation of that, great. Something else that we saw on the socials that I thought, this is quite interesting, and I looked into it a bit deeper, was Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, I think it started off being banned on, like, was it Facebook? And then now he's pretty much banned on everything. All social media platforms, he's banned. Now, I don't know this guy. I'm going to keep it a buck. I've seen a few, like, people taking the piss out of him on TikTok.
Oh, you see more of the piss takes? Okay.
I've seen more, like, of women dressing up as men and being like, point of view, an Andrew Tate podcast, and saying some really derogatory things.
Yeah.
I just see him as a lighter skinned Kevin Samuels, basically. Maybe he says more problematic things, but I've not actually watched a podcast or seen a clip really of him talking. The only clip I saw of him was after he got banned from Facebook and stuff, and there was a clip going around of him talking about that and saying that, so I don't have much to say in terms of an opinion of him because I've not listened or watched any of his content. And so I don't like to place judgment on people based on other people's beliefs. I like to see for myself.
Yeah.
But what I found interesting is the power that social media has, because now that he's effectively been silenced. And again, caveat, I've not heard what he says because I know someone will come for me because they would have seen or heard what he said and hear me saying, I don't think it's fair that he's been cancelled across everything. But I think people should have free speech so long as you're not spreading hateful and hurtful things. That's my belief. And I accept that I've not heard or seen anything that he's actually said, but I do think it's a bit weird that he's been cancelled off everything. But I wanted to hear from you, Mr. Venom, Mr. Controversial. What are your thoughts on Andrew Tate being cancelled across all social media platforms?
Andrew Tate. I knew the guy's face, didn't know him by name until one of my friends was saying that they actually watched our podcast and they were saying, you should talk about Andrew Tate. And I was like, who's Andrew Tate? Showed me the video. I was like, oh, that guy. Oh, no. Because he said some wild things. But, like anything on the internet, when you remove context, things can become even more wild. And that doesn't make what he says great, but when you just take it in isolation, 10 times worse. Half a sentence or a sentence out of context is 10 times worse. But he very much targets men with his content, kind of like the old Kevin Samuels, and more so speaks to where men's mentality should be, what they should be focusing on. And he's very much like into this kind of like an alpha mindset. And that's what he promotes. Has he said some crazy things? Yeah. Has he said some things that are like 100% true and just hurt? Yeah. But him being cancelled is probably, I don't know, one of the worst things to happen this year, simply from the perspective of censorship. Because the internet and that social space technically shouldn't belong to any individuals and follow any like country-based, laws or rules. This is technically the space in the mind in between everybody on the planet, in my opinion. So nobody really should be able to get censored from that unless you are promoting violence, pain, hurt, suffering, hatred. Arguably, some of the things that he said were hatred. Arguably. Yeah.
Can you
again,
give me an
depending
example?
on your context.
Because, like I said, I don't consume his content.
I mean,
I'm one of those people. I self censorship. If I hear that you're problematic, I just won't. The same thing with KS. It's not until we really started talking about him that I was like, okay, let me.
You started getting in and seeing some stuff.
If I hear that you're problematic,
he's kind of on that level. But off rip, I haven't got any like Andrew Tate quotes. He just says some wild things. You just know. It's more so the kind of wild things he would say, not like, oh yeah, he said this, and like Kevin Samuels was far more.
Give me an example, just so I can put it in context.
It's basically white Kevin Samuels, but not targeting black women.
Women in general.
Targeting men. No, he's targeting men. He might have a room full of women though, and in fact, same way like how what were they called? The two brothers.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Same way like them. I swear he even used the same studio because he had the exact same setup with the women. So I think he even used the same studio that they used because it literally be the same kind of stuff that they'd say, but he just came at it with a little bit more of an alpha approach because he used to be a fighter. So he has that fighter energy a little bit. Not that he's violent. He just has that. He's that archetype of man. So
hyper masculinity, hyper alpha, like extreme.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, I just don't understand how someone can be censored without there being some kind of conversational discourse between himself and each individual platform before that point, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
Because then it's not healthy, because then it means, because there's a lot of mad things out there. So ultimately, this is all of the platforms showing you that they do have the power to do a lot, and yet they don't do it.
Why is that a surprise?
No. The point is that they do have the power to do a lot, and they don't do it. So, for example, when we started the pandemic, anybody said the word COVID in their stories on Instagram, anybody wrote it on their caption, you got this big NHS warning talking about go to the proper source to get the proper information, etc.
Yep.
Anybody could have done something similar with the way that was able to detect that one word and put all of the racial slurs for all nationalities, all countries, religions, all of that could have just been encapsulated into the exact same tool, and then anybody does any of the above, bam, you get a flag. Very, very, very simple to implement. If you can implement a system that covers this random virus or whatever it's called that happened yesterday overnight, but yet we've had these racial slurs, these homophobic we've had it forever.
Yeah.
So if all platforms were able to do that magically overnight, but yet they can't acknowledge certain other things that are problematic on their platforms that have been discussed openly for years, then I don't understand why, again, when one man comes and he's problematic, we're able to censor him, but we're going to ignore all the groups that exist. All the neo-Nazi this, all the homophobic that, all the racist this. Because even the DMs on these social platforms, they're not private to us. They own the information, so they can read our DMs.
So I actually think that they do censor those things. So, for example, do you remember my TikTok, my pew pew?
Yeah.
Okay, that got censored immediately.
Because
they were like, no, you're not promoting gun crime. Absolutely not.
I mean, it wasn't gun crime, but yeah.
I mean, it was far from. But they immediately, they said, no, Mrs. Pew Pew, no. So I do think that they do censor it. I mean, back in the day, there was absolutely no policing on the internet. When the internet first started, remember, Ask Jeeves. We wrote what was on the internet. We created the facts that you found. The whole internet was Wikipedia. Now, there's a lot more censorship. Andrew Tate's not the only person that's been banned. Who's that woman? That white woman that's always saying...
Katie Hopkins.
Yeah. She got banned off TikTok. Not TikTok. Twitter. Even, what's his name? The last president. Gosh, the names are...
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump, man, like... got cancelled off social media as well until recently. So I think Andrew's not the first person for this to happen to. He's just probably the first like podcaster that this has happened to properly. More bigger figureheads have been like axed, and other countries have gone so far as to ban a whole country from an app. Like Nigeria banned the whole of Nigeria from Twitter. People have to use a
VPN
in order to get onto Twitter. All because of the SARS thing, you know, the SARS thing. Yeah, they say you lot are no more because you people are communicating with the outside world and you're saying too much.
China definitely have something like that as well, but I can't remember what. I think it's Facebook. I think they can't use Facebook in China or something like that.
Yeah, and I think Russia did something similar as well. So it's something that they've been able to do, and they use social media as a tool. So definitely. Like, for example, in America, and this could be a conspiracy theory, but I definitely believe it, when they have elections, they show certain people certain things.
100%. There's a whole documentary on it. To
promote the party that they want them to vote for. I feel like, so social media is a controlling tool. It's something that you need to use it in the way they want you to use it. Otherwise, the algorithm will work against you, or they'll just completely remove you entirely, and that's it. I do think that there is a problem with that eventually, because it means that the everyday person won't be able to speak their mind. But I'm also an advocate of, why do you need social media to speak your mind? People use social media to get a following. They use it to broadcast to hundreds of thousands of people in one go. If they were to censor me on any platform that we're on, it's not going to stop me from speaking my truth. I'll speak my truth to the people around me, and I'll use word of mouth like we used to in the olden days, literally 20 years ago. But I feel like people depend on social media so much now that if you were to be censored on social media, it becomes I've been censored. You haven't been censored. You're not able to put anything on the internet, on these apps. Fine. Someone like Andrew Tate can easily create his own app where he can be spieling his own whatever he wants to spiel on his own app, and they won't be able to stop him. Or amongst his own community, he can say whatever he likes and they won't be able to stop him. But social media, like, what is it? TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. YouTube. Okay. That's not the world. That's just the online space. So.
But it's a very important space.
It's an important space because we've made it that way.
Yeah. But you can't unmake it that way. The people who he's speaking to,
the
they wouldn't even understand the life
I disagree,
before.
you know, because if every single person that uses Instagram decided to log off and never log back on again, Instagram would be finished. The same thing with Facebook, the same thing with Twitter, the same thing with
everybody would move to somewhere else.
We are the people, human beings, us, we are the ones that have made social media what it is today.
Yeah.
If we decided that we weren't interested in that anymore and we were going to move our attention to something else, it would die. Bebo died, Bebo died, MySpace died, High Five died. They died because what? A new thing came along and people jumped on it, right? So
yeah, but there are new iterations of social media. They weren't no longer social media. But
what I'm saying is, if we were to boycott social media as a whole people, as a whole race, social media will have no power over us. It's because we continue to feed into it as consumers.
No, I agree, but I don't see how.
It would never happen. It would never happen because it's global.
I mean,
social
even if everybody
agreed,
it's like, okay, cool. But then how do you communicate globally to do it? How do you communicate globally?
That's why I'm saying it would never happen. Yeah. But it's not. That's why you're saying it's impossible. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying it's possible to do it because we control social media. We control the power it has over our lives. I can decide today that, okay, I'm going to stop using all of my social media platforms. I'm still going to live.
Yeah, of course.
The one thing they can't lock off is my debit card or my Apple Pay. If they lock that off, I'm finished. So long as I've got access to my money, I will survive. I don't need social media, and every single human being is like that. The problem is, though, is we're all huge consumers, and we're openly and freely giving everybody our data and our information and our lives, and we're so obsessed with updating people and sharing stuff about ourselves and looking at other people's business. We're so nosy.
It's not even that we're nosy. We're so human beings as a species
We're
are
so
social
self-centered.
species. We're social species. We're like monkeys. We operate in society.
You can still be social without social media. Yeah. And we know that. Those of us of the older generation, I've accepted that's what I am now. We know what life was like before Facebook. I remember life before Facebook. So last week, I brought up Friends with Benefits, FWBs. And you said you weren't going to talk to me for a week until we next recorded, and he stuck to his guns. We actually didn't speak apart from arranging when we were going to next record. And you said it's going to be a main topic for this week's episode. So I wanted to ask you, what's the angle? What's the angle?
Yeah, you said. I think at the end of the last episode, you said
I did.
You compared something to being like Friends with Benefit. You said it was a bad idea.
I said we need to cut it out.
Yeah.
I said what I was trying to say was sex with a partner is the way to go. Friends with Benefits is trash. That's what I was saying.
Right. So now let's unpick this. Why is Friends with Benefits trash?
I think that sex with a partner, which is what I was comparing it to, so someone you are actually involved with, they're committed to you, I feel like is better because of the connection, the actual emotional connection that you have with that person. You might or might not love them, or you really like them. You care about each other, so you so into each other. And so the sexual experience is so much better than with an FWB who may or may not be your friend, but really they're just a sex buddy. Who you may or may not care about, but not to the same level. Especially in the beginning stages of an FWB situationship, because you've not really connected with each other like that. And don't get me wrong, I reckon some FWBs do connect, but I just don't think it would be to the same level as it would be in an actual relationship, in the confinements of a relationship. And I guess that's because I'm just really old school. I'm very much we shouldn't be canoodling if we're not together in that respect. But what do you think?
I think the complete opposite. Surprise.
You think that sex is better with an FWB?
No, I think that Friends with Benefits and relationships are literally completely different.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't even think necessarily that they're comparable. Friends with Benefits is...
You mean sexually, not what they are sexually, in terms of the sexual
and what they are, I guess.
Because I'm just talking purely about the sex.
Purely
I'm not talking about the interact, as in the
I'm just talking about the sex as well. I'm talking about the sex.
Okay.
Because, and I guess this leans into what people's intention is and whatnot. But in the few occasions where I've had a buddy, I've always tried to choose someone who seems to be very, very, very much on my wavelength of wanting to have a good experience, have fun, and maybe even do some things that they wouldn't necessarily want to do with a partner. And so it offers
What you mean?
itself.
You mean the stuff they're willing to try and stuff?
Yeah, stuff they're willing to try, or ways they're willing to act, or what. It's a moment where you get to, I guess, live out your fantasies, and experiment, for lack of a better word, and just, you know what I mean? It's almost like a safe sexual space that you can use to prep yourself for a relationship with someone who
You
you
can't do that
actually...
with your partner. See, this is the thing. This is
No, you can do that with your partner,
No,
but you
because
haven't necessarily met your partner at this point in time.
Hold
So what's the
on,
point
hold
saving
on.
yourself for a partner you haven't met, that won't necessarily meet, versus someone who actually wants to engage with you on a high sexual level?
Okay, so you've spoken before about how like non-sexually, that you know, a woman takes time to work on herself outside of the relationship. Why doesn't she promote doing that with her partner? And I bring that up because it sounds really left, but I bring it up because even sexually, you can grow sexually with your partner. You can experiment with your partner. You can figure out what you like and what you don't like with your partner. And I actually think that the benefit is greater when you do that with your partner than doing all of that stuff with an FWB. And that's the point that I'm actually trying to make. And I'm speaking from experience. So last episode, I said that I spoke about how I lost my virginity a bit later. I was a late bloomer, if that's what they like to call it. Popped the cherry around mid-20s. And I was in a long-term relationship with that person. So we were together for a very long time. I learned a lot about myself sexually in that relationship. Did a lot of experimenting, did a lot of like trying stuff, and, you know, stuff that some people might deem that you shouldn't really do with a partner because, you know, it might be a bit too wild for you to do with your partner. It should be something you do with an FWB, live out your fantasies, blah, blah, blah. I saw it as, you're my man, I'm going to live out my fantasies with you. That's how I saw it. Things didn't work out. So after we split, I then really struggled to do the whole FWB thing because from my experience, I wanted to be 100% comfortable with the person that I was with. And I enjoyed experiencing sex and experimenting and doing all the stuff, all my wildest dreams and all that with someone that I was actually in love with. The idea of doing it with someone who is just a friend or any guy, it's like, I don't see it as gratifying, which is why I made the comment that I made, that it's actually so much better when you are in love, when both of you are together and you're growing together and you're experimenting together and you're trying things and you're doing, oh, this is my fantasy, that's my fantasy, and you try it out. It just makes the relationship more fun. It makes sex with them more fun. And I have tried to do the FWB thing, and maybe I didn't give it enough time, but it was dead. It was trash. No offense if you're actually watching or listening.
Damn.
It was trash. In comparison, it was trash. I needed that connection, and I needed more than just, oh, we understand that it's just a sexual thing and no strings attached and blah blah blah. I was like, this is rubbish in comparison to having someone who I feel 100% comfortable with because we've done all of that together, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm gonna stand by my comment and my belief in that FWB, it serves a purpose in between relationships, I guess. If you're someone that has to have sex in between relationships.
You know?
Yeah, if you have to have sex, I'm the kind of person.
You can have buddies when you have a relationship as well, you know. I'm playing.
I'm not advocating cheating or
I'm playing
anything like that. But maybe because I'm also the kind of person that doesn't need to have a sexual relationship with anyone if I'm not in a relationship, period. So I can go months, almost a year without having
I like the
sex.
way you said months, like months was time, you know?
Months is time. I'm currently, you know what? Some transparency. We're a family now. I'm in a drought right now because I'm not in a relationship. So right now, I'm pretty much celibate. Right now. No, not celibate. Is it? Yeah, I'm celibate.
I mean, celibacy is a choice.
Yeah, I'm celibate right now. Yeah, I'm choosing to be celibate because I'm not in a relationship. And like I said, I've tried the FWB thing. it wasn't for me. I'm definitely a relationship girl. I'm definitely I could be free, freaky and all that with my man. With some guy, friends or not, it just doesn't do it for me. It doesn't gratify me sexually. So yeah, I'm one of those people that doesn't need to have sex in between relationships. But if you're someone that has to have sex in between relationships, fair enough. Do your thing, get an FWB or whatever. I just think that sex with a partner, with someone you're with, someone that you're connected to emotionally, is way better. The sex is way better than with someone that you're not connected to.
I think there's so many different ways to have sexual experiences with people. On an emotional level, nothing's going to compare to love. So I wouldn't compare it to a loving scenario because it's not that. It's not going to compete with that. It's not going to compare to that. But there are two layers to sex. One is a very physical, experiential, and present level, and then one of them is an emotional level. And I guess even the emotional level gets split in half because part of the emotion is like love, lust, and that type of space, and then the other one is erotica and lust, and then the other side is obviously love and your actual care for that person and just sharing in an experience. With the whole buddy scenario, reason why I advocate for it being an option in people's minds always is because not everybody is there to be your partner. Not everybody is there to give you love and love you in the way that you want, etc., etc. But because we're animals based on chemicals and hormones and stuff, a lot of time you're going to end up with some deep desires to have a sexual experience or to be sexually gratified sometimes by somebody else. And I think what you can find is that you end up trying to shoehorn people into these kind of relationship scenarios,
not necessarily,
so that you can experience one thing when really actually what you're after is something that is more sexual than anything.
Not necessarily.
And you can find spaces that are both safe, both deep, emotional, erotic, educated, connected with people who are not your partner. Like,
I don't dispute that. I'm not saying that's impossible. I'm just saying that having that with someone who you are in love with is way better. And I'm just talking about sex. Yeah, that's why I had to clarify that, because you can have sex with someone that you have no emotional feelings towards romantically. You can have sex with them and probably still have a good time. But I personally, I haven't had a good time. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like it. It was, in comparison, it was dead. Now, there is that thing that everyone says, this, if when you're in FWB, someone's going to catch feelings. And they speak about the chemicals and the hormones between men and women. Men, sex is physical. For women, because of the hormones that are released, eventually we start to grow feelings for the guy. And obviously there are some women that are not made up that way. Some women who can just have casual sex and have no feelings. But generally speaking, that's what they say. I'm definitely someone that for me to enjoy it, I need to have feeling. Like, there's got to be something there. It could be the most disgusting, degrading sex, yeah, right? But it's because if it's with someone that I'm in love with or someone that I'm connected to emotionally, I enjoy it way better than someone who I just don't. That makes sense. So,
yeah, I mean, I think how
it depends on the
choose
it depends on
their
the person.
buddies. Yeah, I think how people choose their buddies is probably a defining factor, as where I think girls choose their buddies very differently to how men do, probably.
Okay,
because I've always chosen buddies based on women who I kind of already lusted over a little bit, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
And basically, in that lust, I saw something in them that kind of said, yeah, like, I'm on that level. What you're thinking, I'm on that level. And I'm like, oh, snap, really? And they're like, yeah, not every time has it been amazing. I mean, to be frank, I would say every time but one has been amazing. One time was real bad. I don't know what was going on with her, but it just
Why is it
weren't
her fault?
connecting.
It might have been
No,
you.
it just no. It legit weren't connecting. Put it this way, yeah. Bare exposure. But anyway, me and this girl had this conversation, like in passing, and then she gave me that look, and I was like, oh, say swear. And she was like, yeah. I was like, okay, because we had known each other for a while, but we just had not had a conversation. So I was like, oh, say less. Said a date, a time. I picked her up from the station.
Scheduled.
And then from here, I knew it was a wrap from here, but I was hoping, innit? But when I picked her up from the station, she had like a McDonald's in her hand and a cup of coffee, and she was just boxing it down. I was like, McDonald's and
Wow,
coffee.
not you judging the sex based on McDonald's. Wow.
Do you know why? Yeah,
the way
because
guys think, it baffles me.
People who are really on this thing, they're gonna know. Like, imagine I'm taking her to my house. You're gonna know if I'm clapping back McDonald's and coffee, my breath is not gonna be A1.
Yeah, it's not gonna be A1
for sex.
No. Yeah.
Like anybody who's actually really thinking about sex for a sex thing, not for this is the person I love and we just connect or blah blah blah, or this is my FMB. Now, if you're really serious about a sexual experience, then it's an immaculate performance on so many levels.
Yes. Coffee, yes, because you need the energy.
No.
McDonald's, maybe not. But you have that coffee before you've brushed your teeth, before you've like drink the
Not
water,
when I'm about
like,
to drive you from the station to mine and the drive is like 5 minutes. No, you're not really on this thing. So that's the only reason why that was not a good experience. But outside of them ones,
So basically, her breath was like a Big Mac.
It was not conducive of, like, we're going to get lost in this sexual exploration moment. It was very much like, you just bought a Big Mac and a Starbucks coffee and we're banging. And
I hear it though, because if a guy eats olives, he's not kissing me.
I love olives, boy. Olives bang. Don't stop with the olives. Do the olives and then go link Dami, yeah me?
Do the olives, but you're not going to, our lips will not connect.
Do the olives, fam, and then go link Dami, get me?
Dami doesn't do links. I tried it. Well, how many episodes ago was it? Time ago when I was like, I'm not for the streets. And then
no, but I've never done that linking thing, and that was past my time.
When the cameras turned off here, I was saying to Venom, I was like, you know what? I think I might try this FWB, like try and live this life, And he was like, "Damn, it's not in you." And all my friends have said the same thing, like it's not you. And I was like, I'm just gonna try and rebrand. And I've come back today to tell you that it's not me. I can't do it. It's just not me. It's not fun. I don't enjoy it. I don't think I can't even fully relax. I can't even fully
exactly.
It's just not the same as being connected to someone. And you can do all the stuff you want to do because you're connected. For me, and I hear what you mean. I mean, I don't know, because I'm the wrong woman to talk to, because I've never had to select someone to be an FWB, if that makes sense. Like,
I don't select
my
people;
mind is
they
not
selected
wired.
themselves. If you know what I mean.
Fair enough.
We're
Okay,
buddies
cool.
first,
Okay, cool.
And then
I don't even know what to look out for. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't know how to identify that someone has selected themselves for me as an FWB, because to me, if I'm giving myself to you in that way, it's not an FWB thing. It's more than that. And like I said, I've tried the whole thing. I actually, after the deed, I actually was like, what a waste of time. Like, what the hell was that? I was really upset.
Lord,
and one of my girls
mercy.
was like, maybe because she was like, that's how it is. The first time with an FWB is not always the greatest. Like, you have to go back because you lot need to learn each other. You need to and I was like, that's long. Not for someone that I don't care for at all. I don't care about you. You're not You know what I mean? Like,
I think that's the difference
there's no relation
with your selection versus mine, because
this is what I'm saying. So
I've only ever chosen out of people that I've known, if you know what I mean, generally speaking.
We're not in a relationship. I have no intention to pour into you in that way, or I don't have time to learn anything. I just want to get this done. It's supposed to be just a physical thing, so let's make it a physical thing. And then it was dead. I was like, nah, this is rubbish. It's not the same. And I'll be honest, I've been spoiled, because in the relationships I've been in, it has been fantastic. So to go from that to, do you know what I mean? It just, I was like, yeah, this is, yeah. I've been spoiled. That's what it is. I've been spoiled to the point now that I can't even have an FWB if I wanted to, because the experience is just not the same. And I'm all right with that. I'll stay celibate until my next relationship. That's fine. You were saying that there's some sexual experiences and stuff that you might not feel comfortable, you may not want to explore with your partner, right? And it got me thinking that, are there certain things that men... Is there some sort of like... innocence thing? Is it like an innocence complex for you to be like, with my girl, with my wifey, I'm not gonna do these type of things with her because that's nasty, but I would do that with some other girl, or with an FWB or some next chick?
No, that's not me. So my FWB scenario is not because I need to do these things with someone before. It's simply just like, this is sexual exploration time. The issue with sexual exploration, or a potential issue, can be that you want to try things and either person might not necessarily like it. And you don't run the risk of that becoming now the status quo for sexual interaction, because you're not partners. So you are literally just exploring. For example, let's say, I'm in a relationship, or rather even I'm with my wife, and I'm being experimentative in the bedroom. This is something that happened, actually. I can use this as a direct comparison. So she wants to like hit me in the bedroom. That she wants to see if that turns her on or whatever. So she slaps me and stuff whilst we're having, the hanky panky, and she loves it, but I don't like it. Now I've got the knowledge that there's something that my wife has experienced that she loves, and I don't like it. So now I know in my relationship that I'm holding her back or not allowing her to express herself sexually fully. That to me is more problematic than me having my FMB, we're messing around, which this also did really happen. Random. This girl was doing the thing. She's being like hella like dominating. She's like, look here, look there, da 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 da. And I'm just trying to look at the bunda. I mean, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I'm trying to look at her bunda, but she's on top of me anyway. And so I take my eyes off of where she said to look. The way this girl slapped me in the face, it was wild. But I enjoyed it. I know she enjoyed it. That's why she did it. But
she did you like Will did to Chris Rock.
Yeah. Literally, like, bow. Had me all in monologue and stuff. But
damn, yo.
That wasn't like, do you know what I mean? I wasn't worried like, I didn't like it, or do you know what I mean? It happened, cool. And then it's calm. But if that happened and I didn't like it, and that's not just a FMB, that's my wife, now it's like, dilemma. Now this is going to be on my brain constantly. Do I have to do this thing? Should I not do this thing? And it's just, you should definitely experiment in your relationship. Of course, you want to satisfy your partner. You want to give them the most. But I feel like there's more like boundary pushing sexual things that you might want to try, and you don't necessarily know if you like it. Or what if you do something that you wanted to experience to see if you like it and you didn't, but your partner did? it's just all of that gray area stuff that I'm like, it can get a bit fishy.
There's no way that two people are ever gonna love the exact same things anyway. There's
No,
always
of
gonna be a
course,
bit of
course.
compromise in relationships. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but then again, yeah, I mean, I know that there were certain things that my ex
Mm-hmm.
partner wanted to do. One thing in particular, and
Yeah.
I was like, babe, everything else but that is a no.
And how big of a
And
block did that put in your mind, or you know what I mean?
for me, it didn't put a block in my mind per se, but it did make me feel a bit like, oh, now I can't fully satisfy them sexually because there's this one thing that they want to do that I wasn't even prepared to try. And prior to that, everything else I was willing to try, but this one thing, I was like, this one thing, babe, I've tried everything with you, I've gone everywhere with you, but this one thing, I can't do it. I absolutely not. It's just, I just can't. And even the thought of it, I would dry up like a prune and we can't continue. So let's just not bring it up. So for him, it was like, for him, it was an exploration thing. Like he wanted to try.
Yeah, now he's just obsessed
he
by the
wasn't
idea.
Sure. He wasn't sure if he would like it, but he was obsessed by the idea of what is this going to feel like. Whereas I was like, absolutely, like
you'd like, hell no.
The thought of it alone, now I don't feel like having sex with you. Now I'm not even aroused anymore. Yeah, now I'm not interested. That kind of thing. So that did put, I don't know if I can say it put a strain, but because like I said, everything else that we knew we liked, I was cool with it. I tried everything else. And vice versa.
But like now there's this thing.
But do you know what? When the relationship was ending, it was one of the things that I thought, do you know what? In the next partner, I need to make sure they're not into that because I don't want to ever feel like I can't satisfy my partner ever again.
And that's the same enlightenment.
And I guess for him,
from an
he would be thinking, yeah, he's probably thinking that whoever he's with, or
FPV.
if he's with someone now,
what the hell is a FPV? Sorry, I don't know what. A buddy. I don't know what that acronym was.
FWB.
There you go.
FWB.
I said FBV.
So, yeah. So I guess for him, whether he's with someone now or not, it would be, I want to make sure that person is open to trying it at least, because I was not. Just the thought of it, I was like, yeah, nah, babes, I've gone everywhere with you, but this one, I will not enter with you. I will not be going with you. I will not be going with you.
That's what I'm saying. It's a mad
But again,
thing.
I think that it all speaks to what sex is for men compared to women, I feel. And also in that vein about like try exploration, I actually think that porn plays a big part in that, because I feel that porn gives men a really unrealistic expectation around what sex is. And because if you're someone that watches a lot of porn and you're seeing certain things all the time, of course you're going to want to try it. But you can't expect a real everyday woman to perform like a porn star, if that makes sense. And even porn stars are not actually, they're acting.
I've never wanted a woman to act like a porn star bedroom.
Well, maybe you're more of a rational man, but some men, it's like they see stuff on porn and it's like, oh, I saw this on porn and I kind of want to try it. And it's like, mate.
Porn, my relationship with porn is very much like a means to an end. Like, and definitely no offense to anyone who works in porn, because I guess to a degree you do a service to to the whole of mankind. But it's very much like you're watching porn, yeah, it's fantastic, and then the second that you've nut, you're like, this is absolutely disgusting. But I don't watch that kind of porn anyway anymore. I think when I was like much younger, there used to be like a lot more aggressive porn. Not there used to be more. That used to be more just what it was shown. But I think now there's much more of a like an array of porn and where the focus is and what it's about and stuff. And yeah. So actually in some senses, I think porn is more representative than any other type of media.
I disagree.
No, I'm really thinking about it.
But then I don't watch. I've never really been a porn person. Like I said, I used to read erotica, but then a lot of the things that I was reading, to an extent, were probably a lot more extreme than what you would watch on a porn site. And because of the detail, the level of detail and the explanation of what is happening, you could potentially argue it was worse. But yes, but I was never really a porn person ever. Like, not really, because I start to feel like, because when I went to Amsterdam with this same partner for the first time, when I went to Amsterdam, we went to some sex shows and stuff. Because I guess I've always been sexually liberated within the confinements of relationship. Very, very open person when it comes to these things. So yeah, we went to some sex shows and stuff, and I started to feel like this is a zoo. I wasn't feeling like, oh, it's not entertaining. It just felt like a circus. And I get that same feeling with porn. Like when I have watched porn, I've just kind of felt like this doesn't feel natural to be sitting here watching people. Like, they're not animals. It's not a nature show. It's not, I don't know if I'm, that's how I see it. It just has the complete opposite
Sounding like
effect.
some prude, boy.
I'm not a prude, because like I said, I read it, and there's a lot of things that I have that I can't. There's a lot of things that I've tried that I can't say that. Oh, how am I wording this? There's not a lot of things that I haven't tried. That's it. Yeah, there's not a lot of things that I haven't tried, basically. Right. So I'm not a prude. I'm not a prude, or whatever you want to call it. Like I said, I'm sexually liberated with my person. But when I've watched porn, I've just been like, this. I'd rather read it. I'm the kind of person, when I'm watching porn, I don't watch it. I can hear it though. The sound can turn me on, but not the physically, like, seeing it, if that makes sense. Or reading it can turn me on, but not necessarily watching it. I just feel like after a while, it just looks like a spectacle. It just looks like, oh, this is, But that's a quick digression. That's a quick digression. But I just feel like, not me sharing my personal
your personal doings on the internet, on the worldwide,
on the international internet. So on this one, we sit on opposite sides. So it'll be interesting to hear from you guys what you guys think about FWBs versus a romantic sexual partner. Yeah, we'll leave it there. Clearly, Venom thinks that there's positives, and I agree, there are some positives. It's just that I'm just not wired that way. I've been spoiled in my relationships, I have to say. Had some fantastic sexual experiences a lot of fantastic sexual experiences in relationships.
Wow.
Comparing that to the FWB side, it just doesn't marry, doesn't make sense, doesn't compete. So I'm more of a relationship person. I find that with the FWB situation I had, there was no benefits because the sex wasn't great, and then there was no friendship, so to speak, in the way that I would call it a friendship. So for me, it was more taxing than anything. And I was like, if it's going to be this taxing, I might as well be in a relationship with you.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a good setup to me, in terms of like how I do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so maybe off air we'll talk about that. Maybe you can give me some pointers to help us this out, because
you celibate now. You showed
I've
that.
I've been celibate for some time. It's been some time, most of 2022.
Oh yeah, we're nearly at the end. We are nearly at the end. We in Q4.
And that's fine. I'm cool with that, I'm actually okay.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's cool.
I gave up alcohol and women and masturbation at the same time. Like I stumbled.
How long for?
How long did I do the sex part? The alcohol part was definitely over a year.
Yeah.
The sex part didn't make it as far. But
Mm.
it was definitely at least 6 months. Definitely at least 6 months.
It's been some time, and I feel like I'm able to, even as I'm dating, I'm looking at dating differently because sex is not on my mind like that. I feel like when sex is on your mind, sometimes it can cloud your judgment. You don't see some things as clearly.
I think better.
You don't see. No, I don't. I feel like as a woman, sex clouds judgment because we start to connect emotionally to the person we're having sex with, and so dating without the sex, it means that I can actually see your red flags. I'm not bamboozled by the orgasm. I'm not like, oh my God, like, yeah, he.
I hear that, but yeah, but I don't think women.
No.
Yeah, women don't have post nut clarity, which is what men have. So men have clarity to see things properly after sex, or not even necessarily after sex, but after orgasm. As soon as you have ejaculated, it's just like the world just becomes water. You can see through everything, and so even down to dating, and this is like a contentious practice, boy, but I'll say it anyway. If you're with a buddy on the one hand and you're actually dating on the other hand, I feel like as a man, you probably make better choices because you're no longer being driven by your sexual energy, because your sexual energy is regulated low even because you're actually having sex.
Your testosterone is leveling out because...
So you're now just looking at potential partners for who they are, not how much they can also please you, because you're actually being pleased.
Yeah, that makes sense. Whereas for me, and I can't say it's all women, I can only speak from Dami's own perspective, definitely being celibate has meant that I'm actually able to make better decisions around the person that I'm dating, because it's like, okay, I'm not bamboozled by the D. And I can definitely get bamboozled by the D. If it's good D, that's it. It's like, oh, but the D though, especially because I know it's really hard to find good D. So if I find D, then it's like, oh yeah, throw shade. Yeah, then I'm like, yeah, this is it. Isn't it, Toby?
Man, them come in the comment section and defend yourself, please, because boy, I can't help you. I can't help you.
Anyway. So we're going to leave it there, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you've made it all the way to the end of our ramblings, then thank you so much for watching. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe, because I've clocked we're getting more viewers than subscribers. And I don't know how to feel about it. So, you know what? I'm going to challenge you this. If you've watched this episode, you've got to the end, you've not subscribed, and you're not going to, I'm big and bad, I'm bold. Put in the comments, tell us why. Because we want to do better. So tell us why. And if you did enjoy it, subscribe. And those of you that have been subscribed, that are part of the family, that continue to support us, thank you so much. We love you so much. Our socials are at the bottom of the screen. Toby's trying to bite my hand. Can you behave yourself?
Who are Toby?
Doing the most, because I haven't given him no attention. Our socials are at the bottom of the screen, and until next week, Toby, I need my fingers. Peace.